What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez.
And it's Fred Lenartz.
And we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast, having fun, making history at the first ever DealerConnect 2025. And we are excited to be just coming off these. So the first two panels, well, we just got to go ahead and let you know we were already on one already. And then these guys jumped up there and lit it up as well. And we're so pumped up about everything that's brewing out here. Fred, we got a whole lot of awesomeness just sitting right here on the bench, having some fun with us. I'm ready for a fun event.
Man, I'm always ready for a fun event. As you guys noticed at the very beginning, we kind of shuffled a little slow on that when we're normally really quick, because we used to kick it off with, he's Lou Ramirez, the car guy, and I'm Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero, right? We decided to slow it down, make it a little bit easier on you guys. But even still, I'm waiting for him to say car guy, right? That's what it always is. But that being said, no, we're super excited because we got three great car guys up here, three great guys that are doing big things. Literally, if they're up on the stage and they're talking, there's a reason why they were up there. And I can't wait to learn more about each one of you all. We've had some good conversations. I believe that we maybe even had somebody on the show before, right? But definitely excited to learn more about all you all and to be able to share that with our audience, because our audience is always looking for people that are taking things to the next level. So let's kick it off this way. Tell everybody who you are, where you work, and how long you've been in this industry, bro.
All right. So my name's Paul Caldwell. I currently am a dealership owner. Prior to that, I was been in the business 30 years, full service automotive advertising agency.
Nice.
One of the founding members of Haystack Digital Marketing, which in 2013 we sold. My partner and I bought the full service piece agency away from Auto Trader, and we ended up building that up 5 years later, selling that to Affinitive. So at that point, I had a non-compete for 5 years and ended up buying and investing in car dealerships. And now the group we had 10 stores under our umbrella and 4 big power sports stores.
Heck yeah.
So
That's
in
awesome.
just 5 years. Now,
Wow.
non-compete's up. I'm headed back over to the vendor side to build another agency, because a lot of these big corporations have kind of ruined the agency side, the vendor side. There's a whole big void in it, but there are other good companies out there like that down there that are up and coming that are going to be big, but I need to get into that side. So I'm back.
You see something out there, there's a hole that you could fill. Why not do it, right? Especially when you have the aptitude, and now you have that non-compete. If anyone's ever dealt with one, y'all know they suck, but at the end of the day, they need it. It's a good thing. I think it gives you, it's kind of like when when you're away from somebody, you get a little bit more fonder because you miss them a little bit, right? So you're coming back with probably even more like this vigorous energy to be able to bring something new and something that's going to improve with the way the dealership flow is. So congratulations to you. And man, way to go, man. He doesn't do things small, does he? He's like, yo. No. And then I started this, and then we have this and that. Yeah, wow. Let's clap that up.
Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Appreciate you being on the show. Matt, tell everybody.
Yeah, so I'm Matt Copley. I'm co-founder at Horizon. We're sort of an industry first generative AI powered content publishing and copywriting platform. We're purpose built for automotive, anchored in real data, really empowering dealers, agencies to create high powered, helpful content across their websites, their socials, interact with vendors and pull their vendors together to deliver better customer experiences, meet their customers at the moment of intent with helpful experiences that drive more sparks of joy in their customers' interaction with the dealership. So
heck yeah. So experience on all levels. So from your digital presence to your physical presence, that's awesome, and that's something we're going to speak a little bit more about. But that's exactly why we're here, is to talk about how to actually capitalize in a way that benefits everybody. Right? Because there's more than just capitals in dollars and cents, right? There's experience, there's time, there's all of these other things that we're looking to make sure that we maximize, that we have our hands on, that AI is helping us do. I've always loved your sessions, always love hearing you speak about it.
Thanks,
and you guys just had the opportunity to have some fun. Tell us a little bit. Go ahead and deliver someone who are you and what it is
Mr.
you do.
King.
Brew.
Sure. So I'm Giancarlo King. I'm the president of King Group One. We are a full service ad agency, marketing agency, whatever you want to call us. We are a boutique agency based out of New Jersey and New York City. We like to be disruptive. We like to be different. We're fortunate to work with a lot of big dealer groups. And, about a year ago, we started an AI lab, which we were kind of labbing concepts for our dealer partners. And that's taken off and become a huge part of the agency structure and kind of taken on a life of its own. So we're excited to be here and have a conversation.
Yeah, well,
you
we got
also
to make
have,
sure that we high five everybody on the
Yeah.
panel. Need some high
Yes.
fives. You got to get the energy
Back this
rocking
way,
and rolling.
second wave, guys.
Yeah.
Bam, one more.
Man, get it.
Oh.
Let's go. Well,
You also
welcome.
have a killer mustache. By the way.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
Thank you.
Dude,
Yes.
and he plays pickleball, my friends. If
Yes.
you play pickleball, you're way
Yes.
cooler just by that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely something that's advancing just as fast as AI is advancing, right? The pickleball scene, the pickleball actual like the awareness of it is just it's exploding.
Tennis
Excellent.
players can't even find a court no more. Man.
no,
Take
and we're looking at tennis players like, get your dumb courts out of here. You know, like,
Come play pickleball, guys. You'll be
Right.
good at it. I promise, right?
but just like that, just like something that is newly, becoming something that everybody can get involved in. That's what I love about pickleball is that just about anybody at any mobility, if you got at least one hand to hold a paddle, you can play pickleball, right?
Amen.
And doing that is similar to how augmented we are inside of our digital world, right? The awareness of AI. There's a lot of people aware of it. There's a buzz of from people that are very not tech savvy
Mhm.
to those that are light years beyond us that we're going to be learning from hiring, empowering. But we're at a stage right now where you can jump right back into an entirely different world, the vendor world, as it was when you
Yep.
took your time away. But coming into it, utilizing AI also helps you to make leap year jumps to getting things done now for your people too, and also changing the capabilities that you have. So making this like a forward thinking event and the first of its kind to lean into AI. Why do you think right now it's so important that we get as many people to actually dig in and start really getting their kind of their early roots into this new ground that we're all trying to break into? I'll pass that to all of you all. And just to get the conversation.
I think it's important because, again, I was with Haystack. We were in the forefront of paid search. We were the very first company to do paid search. And I remember talking to my buddy Duncan, and I was like, dude, our cash cow has arrived. I was like, dude, this is it. We need to dive into this and be the first there. And to me, with AI, it's a second revolution of automotive advertising, and it's going to change things dynamically. And there's plenty of room out there to have a spot at the table. So to me, that's why it's so important. But also from a dealer standpoint, because now I'm a dealer, it's like we have to get ahead of it because the bigger dealer groups, they've got the manpower, the money behind them, the research to do it in a small independent. We're small in 10 stores. We're tiny compared to some of these big groups.
Sure.
And it's like we
all
have to
perspective.
do the things. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that's my thoughts on it. What about you?
Yeah, I think, from our perspective, we look at it. We've been in this for about 3 years, hands deep in the soil, building in the AI space and really trying to sort of look 6 and 12 and 18 months forward and try to understand the progression of what's going on. And what's amazing is like what we've seen over the last 24 plus months. And a lot of dealers aren't even aware of this yet, right? But we're in the midst of the most fundamental shift in how search and the interaction with search operates. Google has sort of like pinned this very sort of in a sort of docile garb, if you will, as the helpful content update. But it has been going on for 2 years and is fundamentally just a radical transition of search, and also a quiet retraining of every one of us in how we interact with the search bar, right? So for 20 years, agencies and dealers have been trying to optimize for like these short, truncated little terms like Honda dealer near me,
Right.
or Honda service, things of that nature. And what this is the byproduct of, right, is Google has seen this coming wave from ChatGPT and other LLMs where people are interacting with a robot and giving it much more deep and nuanced context and it bringing back an answer. Google is not going to take this lying down, right?
No.
They're not going to go the way of the phone book. And so they're breaking their golden goose in the context of really fundamentally changing how people interact with search. And so it's on us as dealers and as industry partners to help dealers now carry through their expertise, which is something that's never really been done well. Carry that expertise through to the market to then arm Google and all of these AI robots to meet their customers at the moment of intent with the answers to the questions they have and be the obvious authoritative choice in the market. So it's an exciting time. Really, really exciting time.
Wow. I'm loving these
Fire
answers,
me
man.
up,
Like
fire me
both
up.
of you guys have dropped some really great perspectives.
much.
So now I got to hear yours, brother.
Yeah. I mean, I think being at DealerConnect is cool because we're the interesting part about AI for us, right? And as an agency, we frame it as trying to be transparent with the dealers and educate them and teach them and turn them on to companies that we think do a great job in the space or stuff we're doing. Where dealers are inundated in this industry with a lot of product, right? And that's not just AI exclusive; it's product that's come out of every change over the years, and a lot of it's not great, and a lot of it is pretty good, and they have a hard time navigating those waters of who can I trust, what's what's good output or what's a good product. So we're trying to fill that space, but at DealerConnect, I think the way, and you guys were great on stage because everyone's using it differently, right? There's no like one size fits all answer to like how you're prompting or how you're getting good output or what you're doing from a business perspective. So it's interesting to hear all the different touch points of how different companies in the space are using it, and trying to educate ourselves together to be better and and move forward as an industry and not kind of silo off like we're the AI experts and then kind of confuse dealers, more educate dealers.
Yes.
300% agree with everything you all said. I mean, it's so amazing from the dealer side, but going into the agency, you talking about how the use and the way Google had to transform what they were doing. I always think of companies like KB Toy Stores, who's making a comeback, but they disappeared. When you think, and then you think about every bookstore in the country because of Amazon and what they did, right? And they just transformed things. Yeah. People really had to make some shifts. And Blockbuster, goodbye, right? Didn't make that shift. And if you go back and read history, they had opportunities to. They just said, no, man, this is never going to change. Folks, dealers, you have to change. And this is something that can happen very quickly, but you got to start today. Yeah. You got to get after it. And being somewhere, coming to events like this, I love your point on that. All those things superly matter. Inside dealerships right now, you can really train your people so much better because the AI can go in and see who's doing what and who's doing not, right? And when you can figure those things out and know what they're saying and analyze it, because us humans, we're good. But our bandwidth is only so much. We only got so much stuff. So the time it takes with AI to go inside your CRM or go into a call review company and go back and review all the calls that somebody's had, and if they said keywords or if they missed asking for an appointment, that was a shocking stat. But we can get into that another time. But that being said, AI is here to advance us, but learning and making that shift now and not being KB Toys, not being Blockbuster dealers, because that's the ones that are losing their business, losing their market share. So you got to make shifts. It's great perspectives, guys.
The shifts that are happening right now that we do get the chance to witness and to come to these events and do, it's empowering in so many different ways for businesses, but for businesses as the individuals get augmented, everybody being able to find their way is what AI is doing so great for us now. How do I do this? The thing that I think made YouTube as incredible as it was really that you can go on there and get educated. And fundamentally, we believe that people that you learn from and those experiences where you learn or you're educated are searing and part of a lasting memory that you have that commits you either to a brand or to a cause or to a thing, right? With AI helping you to actually experience something that you can do that you really kind of didn't know how to do. You just said you wanted to do it. And then you get walked through and pointed into how to be what you weren't before you prompted this thing to say, show me how to do that. That is revolutionary, but it gives not just the individual, but businesses so much leverage on where they can go, because it's almost, if you can dream it, you can be it. And we're at a stage where we can create so much more with this AI. And but it's also needing to be recognized for those on the other side of the table from the customer, is that the customer can do it too. And the customer's learning it too. And a lot of customers know it way more than some of those of us that are in this industry
Well,
trying to figure it
They
out.
made that
you
point
know?
on stage today. I can't remember who said it, but they said, you can get the Foursquare really, or the pencil. They could take a picture of it and say, is this a good deal or not? That's how literally the world is changing like that. So yeah, they're way more confident. So we got to be confident with it, right? We got to know, yes, me,
Know what's
before I go
coming-
in there,
know
let me
what's coming up.
let me be set up. What objections am I going to get from this?
I mean, it's
You know
one
what
of
I
the
mean?
reasons we talk so much about leadership, with our agency partners,
I love it.
with our dealer partners. Often when we talk to agencies and the sort of principal executives at the agency, it's like obvious the value that we deliver, but then we talk to a team that's been doing the same things the same way, right? As the stakeholders increase, there's a lot of resistance, like, oh, this is going to take my job. And so I think, like, from an agency perspective, from a dealer perspective, it like there's a real demand for leadership right now, for leaders and department heads to come together and really talk about, like, okay, how do we get our teams on board with this, execute with structure and purpose, and lead this transition within our own organizations? Because if they're not doing that internally, they will get slingshot past by younger, faster, more nimble startups that are really embracing it as a core part of it.
300%. Yeah, it is. And in leadership, that's the one thing AI won't be able to replace, is leadership. It won't be able to replace empathy. It won't be able to replace these things that us humans are just masters at. If you really hone in on those and then use these tools to help you get to that next level, without great leadership, everything falls apart. I believe fish rots from the head down, right? And if you don't have good leadership in place, ready to take charge and get people excited about it, or get rid of people who are not. I mean, you have to make decisions like that.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it will call the herd of disengaged people.
Yeah, it's
for sure.
you have a leader inside of a store, even if they're the top sales pro, right? We're talking about retail. They're the top sales pro, but they don't want to change. Sometimes it's okay. They're going to be successful, but inside your new culture, if you really want to make shifts, everybody from top down has to make that shift. It's so important, and it's hard. It's hard to make those decisions, but they're the best decisions, and usually the hard things bring great results.
Yeah, I think
100%.
that's a good point. And I think one thing from our side, so like from the agency side, is there's a big thing going on. It's like a gold rush, right? It's a revenue chase where everybody is, putting out chatbots and reskinning things and trying to get in front of dealers. And I think, we were able to, the decision we made, right, wrong, or different, was if we can get better internally and then take some of those ideas and things that work. Being an agency of our scope and size, we're able to have a lot of disruption and not a lot of red tape. Right? We answer to ourselves, which is great. So we can trial things. And I think the feedback has been dealers have an appetite for like an education process, not just a selling process.
Yeah, amen.
Because you look at OpenAI as an example. They're a great example where a lot of these startups come up with these great ideas, and then OpenAI, because of the power and the compute and all the money they have behind them, say, that's a great idea. We'll turn it on, right from now. And then that company's gone, or that company gets absorbed in. So I think dealers are getting smarter to the facts that there's a lot of misinformation, and they think, to your point about leadership, if we can educate everybody on the use of not just LLMs, but agents and workflows and automations, then we can have a better output from the sales floor, also to the marketing. Right?
Well,
That's what we're seeing.
it's funny you say that. It's like when I had my agency, we never pitched. I never pitched. I educated.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like I would go up, I'd go in front, I'd speak at the events, I would educate. And so many of my competition, so many people were like, they would come to my sessions and then they would talk to me and like, you're giving us the secrets, you're doing all this. And I was like, you know what? It's all out there.
Yeah.
The difference is having the knowledge without action doesn't do shit. You know what I mean? It's you have to actually implement it and do it. But to speak from a spot of authority, you get people listening. And so I would never pitch. I would never even. It's crazy being car guys. You always ask for the business. I would never ask for the business. I'd be like, you know what? We're the best. You want to hire us? You know how to get a hold of us. But I'm not.
Yeah.
We were at the biggest, and we were the biggest tier 3 agency in the country. So it was like we got to pick.
Right.
But it's
a
great.
feeling, isn't it?
I think it was 3 years. I closed every single pitch I went on. I was batting 1,000 for 3 solid years. And the only reason why that slowed down was we were so big, we wanted to make sure that we could properly manage it.
Yep.
So I would drag my feet a little bit, like, hey, we can't start for another month, but because it was all about people.
But
that's
that's the truth though, and it's better than throwing it up there and saying you're going to do it, and then you lose complete trust with people, and that's
Yep,
why you always
exactly.
stay relevant.
where
Honesty is
AI
better
can
than
help.
speed. Sometimes it's like, hey, look, I want to give it to you in 3 days, but it's going to take 6.
Yeah.
Just to be honest with you. If you find somebody doing 3,
It's a good, fast, and cheap paradox.
yeah, like which one do you want? And a lot of times but it always matters. At the end of the day, because if they do get it fast, they're going to be pissed off.
Yeah,
If you see what
exactly.
happens, right?
The word we keep coming back to, and I'm all for it. Again, it's one of the 3 E's of an excellent experience: educate.
Yeah, I love that word's popped up a
Making
few times
sure
here.
that we are providing that, because that is what's searing. That is what actually builds the value, right? We are excited when we have the chance to learn something, but when we get the chance to use what we learn is when we're most pumped up about it, right? We from being a child, we want to show, hey, watch this trick that I can do, right? As you get in the car business, watch me close this deal, right? Let me show you what it is that I'm capable of doing by using what it is that I've learned. With that, prioritizing education isn't necessarily the strong point of the automotive industry, right? It's not necessarily, well, I would say for the most part in dealership level. Now, I believe that in the service department, they have to stay up on tools.
Oh, yeah.
They have to stay up on technology. They have to understand how to optimize their moments, their hours with the tools that they have. No different than a surgeon.
Yeah.
And I believe that continued education is pivotal and vitally important for a professional of any sort, right? If a surgeon goes in, the way you use a scalpel 20 years ago, I want to know if you can figure out how to use that laser now to where you don't have to cut me completely open, right? Same with this technology that we have in this business. Taking to learn. So what would you say for there's dealers out there that are listening, that are watching this, you're listening to this on the podcast, but you have some great minds that are watch what things look like in the next few years. You'll still hear these voices speaking some good stuff, giving some great testimony of the ideas and dreams you're having now. But what would you say to those that are watching and listening and considering, hey, you know what? I'm with you. I am jiggy. AI is right. I want to use this, but I don't know how to get my entire team to jump on board with me. What would you do if you were coaching that dealer on, hey, this is how you get something implemented. This is how you should approach it. And this is kind of where to start. What would you guys say to that?
From our perspective, I think the biggest issue we see with integration or embracing AI from a dealership comes down to security for a lot of it, right? The concerns are we're a Microsoft business or whatever it might be, right? And that we need to use Copilot, right? Because everything's in our ecosystem, and that may not be the right answer for them in terms of like getting people to buy into a system that works for the dealership.
Yep.
So I think that as it's a different conversation, but when dealers are saying, well, security is a huge concern, right? And I think you touched on a little bit about security. It's like, how can we pick an enterprise solution if that's what they're going to implement in the dealership that not only is easy for the employee to use, like a ChatGPT or an OpenAI, right? Because it's so familiar with 74% market share. But will that kind of help our internal security systems and things of that nature? So that's a big holdup that we see where it's like, well, I want subscriptions to everything, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So that's the first part of it. That I think is interesting, and we'll see as these companies get better and better with their enterprise solutions where dealers kind of pivot to. And Microsoft buying, I think, a 27% stake it was in OpenAI, or having it, like, that's probably part of the reason why this is happening, because they have such a business integration. So I just think it's an important note, because almost all the dealer partners we talk to, that's the first thing usually. Well, what if the guy's, feeding information in, and you touched on
100%.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think we
Huge
should
risk.
take notes from Microsoft. Microsoft's always been great about integration and collaboration, and it's good to see that they're doing that. So awesome stuff. So
Yeah, I think I would sort of carry through what Paul said, and recontextualize it a little bit in the context of, like, it's what we try to do for every one of our users in our builder community is, like, practice what we preach,
Amen.
carry through education, how-tos, easy to adopt, easy to learn, easy to grow. And we, I don't prospect, I don't have a tremendous amount of ad campaigns. We just get people coming to us to ask questions. And that's how our conversations start. But that's beside the point. What's really important is, as a dealer, you have this opportunity as well, right? If you commit to educate your customer, provide helpful content, your customer will gravitate toward you as the obvious choice in the market, right? Like even my decade in retail automotive, I think about like from the day websites started getting commoditized by big platforms, it was always a head scratcher to me why there are 200 pages dedicated to variable ops and 4 for fixed ops. Even though fixed ops keeps the lights on, keeps the customer
in
relationship
most places
over the
I've
life
been, I can
cycle.
tell you, fixed
Right.
ops is the people who are keeping it running.
And here, like if you ask a question about a part on your car, fitment, service intervals, where do you end up? You end up on some obscure blog from 2002 where a guy answered a question about a Leatherman and duct tape and the part might fit.
Man.
Like
The guy was
dealers
really
have-
reading that thing. You're like,
yeah, dealers.
what am I doing?
Dealers have this opportunity to carry through all of their de facto expertise into the market and
Love that.
shine, right?
Educate.
And provide
Yes.
those sparks of trust with their customers.
I love that.
So-
Give them all the info. Let them show how you could take an engine apart and put it back together.
It's the
Have one of your-
same mantra as
but-
what Paul did.
But they're
you
going to
know?
come to
Yeah.
you. I probably take out the screen, put a new one in, but you know what? I don't want to rip something. I'm going to go somewhere I know is pro at it, right?
Amen.
If I know that inside a dealership and they're giving you free info, hey, you can do these easy jobs if you want, or you can come by and see us. We'll take care of you. And it's that simple. You don't even have to pitch to his point, right? Why pitch? But anyway, I
Just
love
be
I
the
love what you're
obvious
saying.
choice.
I
Yeah.
love it. Educate, baby.
Yeah, and so my advice would be to for dealership.
Yeah.
It would be to. It goes back to the God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth,
Mhm.
and listen. Find the experts. Find the partners to go with that are the industry experts that are going to get there. And things are going to change. Like even when I had my agency, I was never disrespectful to my competition.
Amen.
Ever.
Amen.
At least the ones that I respect. But there were a lot of good ones out there. And it's like I would always listen, like, what are they doing? What are they doing different or better? How can we improve? And you're running a store. I mean, trust me, there is so much minutia that goes. I mean, y'all worked in the business. It is insane.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just look at the logins. Hell, I have like a Word doc that's password protected.
Yeah, it's like
every single, and then every day they're like, this franchise is like, you need to change your credentials. I'm like, mother.
Like, I just went through all 0 through 10 or 0
I'm
through
like,
9. What other number do I have at
It's
the end of this?
like,
I did exclamation point, question mark.
Yeah.
so, being a dealer, you're tasked with all that stuff. And then you're like, now I got to learn a complete new thing, but you need to stay on top of it. You need
Yeah,
to do it.
man.
And then one last thing, which you kind of touched upon is, and I think you touched upon it, was there's lots of shiny objects.
Yep.
Okay. And there's lots of little nickel and dimes out there that'll be like, hey, in budgets, even at my stores, with my advertising background, you allow the GMs to, oh, so-and-so, does this advertising. We got to try it. It's the most, and it's
generating
like,
more leads.
It's generating more leads. And you're like, God, that works. Okay. If you're, backwards, if you're not, we're already up here and they're talking about their success from people that were in the Stone Ages.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you know what I mean? And like, yeah, that works. Yeah, that's great for them.
Yeah.
But
Then-
you're already way ahead.
right.
And so it's important to find a good partner that can cut through that.
Yeah.
Amen.
Don't, because our budgets every 6 months, we got to go through and be like, what the?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how are we? And you're not putting the fundamentals together first. So
Amen.
do that, but pay attention and keep your eye on
Love it.
this emerging, I don't know what it's trend.
Rise of
Rise.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's always an opportunity, guys.
Rising
And
tide.
no matter, right. And everywhere that we've been in automotive, as long as a lot of us have been inside this business, we've seen a lot of changes, and there's always something that's going to give you an opportunity. They always say when things seem the worst is the time that you do some big things. That's when people work harder and they get after it and they learn something completely new. When you learn a new tool, you learn it fast, you learn it quick, and you get good at it. You encourage everyone to do it, and you educate. I love that word. Came up a lot.
Yeah.
I love it. I know we've taken up a lot of y'all's time. We've been 30 minutes. We've been sitting here having some fun.
We got
It didn't even feel like 30 minutes
It's a
because you
great
guys dropped
conversation.
so much good stuff. For you guys who are watching this live, for you all who are going to be watching this on the replay, or if you're listening to this on a podcast, tune into these people. Come check out what they're doing. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of each one of y'all.
Oh, shit. I know.
No, I thought he was going
I know
to.
you're first.
Yeah, I mean, horizon.io, HRIZN.io. Find me, Matt Copley, on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm out there. Give a holler. Love to talk shop with anybody who wants to check in. Yeah, 100%.
King Group One, the word one, so kinggroupone.com, and reach out, and we'll have a good conversation.
Yeah.
Help you get
Yep.
educated.
And me on LinkedIn, Paul Caldwell. I'm also partnering with C4 Analytics to build a full, big
Love
with the
C4. Good
CEO.
peoples.
Him and I are building a full service advertising where we handle everything from there. So production, but we have just started. So
Stay tuned for more with this guy. He's got a lot of things
Big
coming up on the
stuff.
horizon.
Big
He'll be
stuff.
looking for some. So reach out to him if you want to learn more. Reach out to all of them because they're all changing the way that dealerships are getting done and what they're trying to make happen in the future. They're making sure it is happening. And I love that. So
Well, these solution areas are 100% CGC approved,
No
and
doubt.
we are so thankful to be challenging thought and pushing the industry forward by brewing solutions, not percolating problems, everybody. We're so thankful for the opportunity to do what we're doing now. DealerConnect is setting the stage, but at the end of the day, we have to go continue to innovate, continue to grow, continue to keep building. No matter what yesterday was like, wiping that off, getting focused on what it is that we can actually put our hands to now. I'm so thankful that you all are helping to basically spearhead a movement inside of automotive and then beyond. This stretches far beyond automotive, but inside of automotive and beyond, with a thought of upgrade your thinking too. ChatGPT is going to take an upgrade.
That's right.
It's going to do it. It's going to come to a different version. What version are you on, everybody out there? We challenge you to upgrade the version that you're on and considering how to take these next technologies to the next level with you. In order to go to the next level, we do like to drop some F-bombs, everybody. And these are, of course, the F-bombs that don't offend the moms. And that's to forgive, focus, fly, and to keep growing so that you can keep going to the next stage of growth inside of your world. You all know the moves. We got to get some rocking and rolling going on over here.
Hands on the
Big,
shoulders.
loud, and proud. Forgive, focus, fly on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing. Keep growing. That's right, everybody. Thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you all. Get that over there. Hey,
All right. We'll see you all soon. We'll be doing more shows. We're going to be going live after live. I might even be walking around that room here in a moment with my camera. We'll see you guys soon.
Let's go.